5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
So basically, in the light of the 60th anniversary of Thunderbirds this year, I decided I am going to give it its own darn painting. So this time, instead of just doing like an island or something or other, I've just decided I'm going to go in a completely different direction. We are painting the rocket wall from Thunderbird 2's entry point silo. I don't know what you want to call it. Anyways, but we're not doing this in a conventional way. So what I've decided and what I did was, at the time, this was all last year by the way, I went down to Kmart and decided, I spent quite a while in there trying to find canvases, but I decided I want to do this instead of just one big long canvas. I decided I'm going to make it into a split form, but I wanted to do it in 3. The packs of canvases that I found were packs of 2. So I started it off with 2, didn't look very good, so I ended up driving down the Novotel to get some more. So now I have 3 canvases. The sketch is already done up. Cue the time-lapse moment on top of that. That I worked on last year, which I'm pretty sure I was doing that while watching the retrospective for the second time, but anywho. But yes, so sketch is done up, and with the spare canvas that I had for this, I turned it into this little painting right here. I would go get it, but it's kind of currently velcroed to the wall. Also, unlike the other painting, this actually is going to have a place somewhere in my bedroom. This right here is the wall in question, or place in question as I put it. It is the wall, if you probably cannot tell, it is right next to the photo wall, so that's where that is. It is also right next to my wardrobe, and also this is like the only other sort of thin enough wall that isn't used per se, so this is where it's going to go. So back to the actual painting itself. I don't know where this video is going. I'm just like, I want to get this intro over with, so. But let's start getting messy. I need to actually put something down on here so I don't get paint on the carpet, so let's do that first. Call me insane or very daring. I actually want to see how much I can get that painting done over, I'd say today, but I have probably over just under 24 hours to sort of do that. So I'm going to put on the retrospective and I'm actually going to see how much I can get done of this thing, because I kind of need to get this video done before Thunderbirds Day, and it is the 2nd of September. So let's see how well this is going to go. So let me just show you. So this is the sketch that I have. There is a bit of a shorter gap at the top with the screen, but I kind of like it anyway. So we are going to do that. We are going to start off with the sky bit. Hang on, let me grab up. So we're going to start off with where are we? Start off with all the sky. I haven't drawn up all of the scaff sort of stand thing, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to draw that over the top of the sky once it's painted. Because if you look closely, there's a lot of in-between gaps, so it's going to be easier if I just paint the whole thing and then do all of that. So that's what we're going to do. I want to get that whole sky all painted up, ready to go, and then we'll take it from there. That's the goal right now. One thing that's annoying me, and also because one thing, this is all the clay dust that I have for when I did other projects, so I'm just putting that on top of that. But this is driving me nuts. I need something heavy here. Hold on, hold that for it. What is heavy in here? Fandom, don't kill me for this. Well, that works. And if all else fails, I have this book, which is quite heavy. Hopefully I should keep it down because the flap was annoying the shit out of me. Anywho, let's just continue. I don't know why, I just tend to go towards the easiest parts of a painting first, just to sort of like get them over and done with. And this guy was this exact culprit. So as you can see, I did one sort of canvas in the original dark tone that I did, and then I put a bit of white in the other stuff and just started to do the gradient until I realized that it was slightly the wrong color. And I kind of knew I had to do a second layer anyway. And it did not take me long to realize that I made a big mistake doing this on the floor. Almost what feels like 3 hours later, this is what we have. I had to kind of do a couple of coats a few times because the first shade was a bit too dark, but I managed to fix that up, so that was fine. There is sort of meant to be a gradual sort of tone, probably about halfway through here, but I'm just taking a liberty and just done it through there. So now that that's done, I'm just going to start doing the little details of the ship. So I'm going to do the number 4 because that's just a color black, so I might just do a blacky grey instead of just a stark black. And I want to do this star detail here. Just kind of want to get the rocket sort of out of the way before I do everything else with it. So, and also I can't do the background because that's dry, but like I want to wait till it's completely dry before I do it. So yes, and I am 2 hours and 36 minutes into the retrospective, so I'd say we are making some progress. So I'm going to just keep chipping away at it. Do ignore what my sleeves are doing right now. It's the look. And also my back hurts from doing this, so I really didn't think this through properly. Anywho, spoiler alert, it wasn't a blacky grey, I just ended up doing black. So now it is time for the star stripes thing. Details, that's the word. So as you can see, I just mixed up a bit of blue. I think it was a bit of a dark blue with a bit of white. I think that was sort of it. It was really simple. Just like this was the beauty about this painting. It was just so simple to do. So I just kind of quickly whipped that up and brushed that all out, and then just did the white star. I did have to do this a few times to get right because the line work just ended up being crooked and all that. So that's just kind of what I did. It was just a lot of touch-ups in the end. And so we have some more progress. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, just done a couple of layers of the little blue, the star. The star was kind of annoying me, so I'm gonna let the paint dry and then I'll fix that. And then we shall continue on, but looking at the photo, I actually might be able to get this done within 2 days. I don't know, we'll see how we go. I'm currently 3 hours 29 minutes into the retrospective and most of this has been painted out. So I think we're just going to keep going. And so I'm just going to keep pushing through with this. Also, don't question what this is. There's going to be a lot of questionable things in this video. So, say hello to Larry the lobster. It was a weighted pillow my friend dropped me off on the weekend and it's been kind of helping me with my back. I was about to start mixing up the sort of reddish colours at the top of the rocket, and then I realised the colour that I need is the same colour as this guy. Like, let me show you. So like, we have that. It's probably hard to tell in this lighting, but in person, it's pretty darn spot on. So I think it's safe to say good old Larry here it's becoming a colour scheme. So I'm going to try and mix that up now. So that's what we're going to do. And AC, if I end up keeping the audio of this clip, you're welcome. Your prop section is going to be the background noise.
Here include a flat version, and there's also a couple that have these metal letters attached to give it.
Needless to say, I got very distracted during this section. I can't help it. AC had lots of props. I don't even know what the word is, but anyhow, we're going to move on from that. So, the fact that I actually thought I was going to get this done in like 2 days was absolutely ridiculous of me because, again, another spoiler alert, that did not happen. But, yeah. The main goal of that day was to try and get as much done before my date. As you can see, his foot and hand in the shot before he got to my house. That was sort of the intention. And yeah, I just kind of did more of the red bits throughout this time. I didn't do any shading here. And what am I doing? Getting distracted. Yes. I actually also forgot time-lapse was running. And then the next day, I just continued on with the rest of the nose cone. Just started doing the grey bits with it was a bit of like a grey with a bit of blue. And then I ran out of paint. This right here is a paint packet that I have been saving and have not opened since Christmas. This was a Christmas present from my sister and my brother-in-law. So I've been saving up for this moment. And also it was probably a good thing because I literally just about ran out of paints when I was doing the other Tracy Allen painting, because I had like a big set of these from a different brand and most of the colours were used up. And now it's time to open it because I have run out of white. Yeah. And there's a tiny little tube of white in there, so no idea how well this is going to use, so I'm going to have the sort of unboxing. I've literally been saving this to open for. Oh, and also because I need this yellow ochre so I can do the rocket, so I can't be bothered mixing up my own, so figure we'll use these. So I think these little tubes are kind of my priority because they do not take very long to use up. And once again, I have more black. So if I can try. There we go, didn't need scissors. And now I'm gonna have a bunch of rubbish everywhere, but that's okay. Ooh, that brown might be good actually. And also because I kind of need a slightly different blue as well to start mixing up things, because I'm also about to run out of blues. And also because I need blues for another project, so. Ooh, this vanilla might. The colours that I mostly need for the rocket part is this yellow ochre, which hopefully that is the right one. And of course, I need white. And once I ran out of this, I will actually have to go down to the shops and get some more, because unlike the colour black, which I somehow have literally three big tubes of these, I don't have any more white. I don't know how. I think most of the white I just ended up using in the other painting, and yeah, now I have none left. So. Oh, and also, since these were from Typo, which is, by the way, one of my favourite stores here, they have like sort of funny names for the colours too. Like White Lightning, which is titanium white. Cheesy Yellow. I was not expecting cheesy in there. I was trying to read them through the Salty as Coral. Whatever that means, that's vermilion. Infrared, which is crimson red. Mystery Green, Viridian. Jungle Green, which is sap green. Absolutely Fresh Blue. Deep Sea Blue, which makes sense. Suspicious Brown. Yeah, I don't think we need to elaborate on that. Burnt Toast Brown, which is burnt umber. black sole, which is black. So, very funny typo, very funny. I hope you enjoyed that probably very irrelevant little paint packet tour, but there you go, they've got to have content somehow. So, moving back onto the nose cone, now that I had finally retrieved the white, the only remaining tube of white that I had, it was time to actually start shading properly. And this was all the next day after I actually finished work and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it was just like a lot of grey layering. I just made sure I had a lot of light tones and dark tones, and I just kind of went... There was probably like, it felt like a million layers of this. It was just constant, just trying to perfect it. I was trying to get a sort of gradient look to it, so I'd say it turned out quite well. It just took a little while to get there, especially when the paint was all wet. And what are we doing here? Oh yeah, same thing down with the engines. I kind of wanted to get all the paint grey bits that I had before it all sort of like dried up. I was being very self-conscious because the amount of paint I sort of wasted in the 2004 one was kind of a bit ridiculous. So I was being a bit more sustainable, if you will. So yeah, again, I just started off with a base layer, just a lot of dark and light. The blending with paint, it's a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. I don't think, unless you're an artist, you probably don't even know how much. I don't even know where I'm going with this. But you get the point. And then it was time to start actually probably getting this part done. And I think I tried a bit of orange on there too, because I wasn't happy with the colour for some reason. But then I ended up just doing a bit of white. I just kind of outlined the light strips that we had. And then we're back down here and back up here. I think I was just trying to find means of procrastination. Why is this footage upside down? I don't know. Again, moments of procrastination. Doing the bottom bits. So the bottom of this rocket bit, because I had already drawn up the lines for it, I was going to paint them in between, as you can see. I quickly gave up on that and just decided to paint the entire section grey, and then I was going to paint the line work or draw the line work over the top and go from there, that sort of thing. So yeah, I just kind of lathered that on. It was a lot of like getting a lot of water on the palette because I was really running out of paint then, but I didn't want to mix up anymore because I knew I was going to be moving on to something else. Like this. I had run out of the grey paint, so it was time for the rocket. So for this, it was the yellow ochre, like I mentioned before, and some lemon yellow, which I used 2 tubes of because I had a spare tube in my already depleted paint case. I don't know why I didn't shade on this part, but I just kind of did a base layer. But only on this top section though. I don't know why I didn't do the rest of that part. And I think this was also at the point where I actually did run out of white. So, that's right, yes I did, because I was procrastinating on going to the shops to get some. It was also like getting close to dinner time and the shops were gonna close, so there was also the point of the fact that I didn't want to drive. So instead I painted the brown section. This ended up changing into a lighter brown because, as you can see, the green stuff just did not look very good. Also didn't look screen accurate either. And as a way to determine not to waste any paint, I used recycled, per se, that brown and did that gradient piece. I think that top section took me like an entire night or like a few hours. I can't remember. But for the rest of the rocket, I just did a base layer of the yellow ochre mix that I had. And over the top, I remember this distinctly. I did the guidelines of light in white. Hey, it rhymes. Anywho, so yeah, I did that one night and I just left it. I left it overnight. Don't know why, I just did. And then the next day after work, I think I was listening to the radio with this, so I was immersing myself And I think this took me nearly 3 to 4 hours to gradient. There was a lot of layers, guys. But like, it's... I don't know how else to explain this. It was just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Brown light, white... Ugh. I'm losing my ability to speak right now. But yeah, it's... Okay, you know what? Let's just move on to this then. So once the rest of that yellow ochre rocket bit was done, I tried many techniques to try and get these lines, including tape, which did not work. So I just kind of just painted all the lines and just tied it up in between, which ended up pretty well. And then my patience was running thin, so I decided to do some smoky on the canvas. That's what I mean. I'm very tired. I'm running out of breath. And I actually had some messy lines to like on the edges of the rockets where there was white, and I did not want to mix up any blue. But this is where it worked out well, because the smoke bits could cover up the messy bits. Am I genius or what? No, I'm kidding. It just kind of ended up working like that. Then once that was done, I did want to continue down with the smoke, but I realized I should actually probably get the framing that was next to the rocket done. So I probably spent 45 minutes on this, trying to trace it out and eyeball it. You really can't see much of it, but you're about to see it in just a second. Any second. Okay, give it a moment. It was a bit hard to tell, but I've sketched up the sort of framing, scaffolding, whatever you want to call it, up to about here. We're going to ignore this bit here, because that was frustrating me, and it took me like 45 minutes or something to get this drawn up, but I have taken a few artistic liberties in it. I mean, it's not completely accurate, but just looking at the sketch, it's working. I already just started painting a line. I started on the white bits, the smoke, because I was impatient last night. So that was last night, that was last night, that bit was this morning, and I fixed this up last night. So now the entire rocket itself is done. The last part I need to do is all of that line work. And as we can see on this, it's quite a bit, but hopefully patience shall be my best friend and actually take my time with this a little bit. But what I'm also going to do, in a sense, is kind of do section by section now, because I'm at the point where I just want this done. I'm sick of looking at it on my floor, and also because my back hurts. I've got a hot pack on me. But we start for this section, sort of perfect that, and then move down to here, perfect that, then here, finish that off. So then we can just go canvas 1 done, canvas 2 done, canvas 3 done. I don't know why I'm so out of breath. I'm just, ugh. So that is the plan. Let's return to time lapse. So yeah, that was the plan. So it was time to execute the plan. So I just used some more grey. I can't remember if I had this already mixed up or not, but I just made sure there was a light grey and a dark grey. And using the guidelines, I just traced the entire thing. Kind of did a little bit of eyeballing. Actually, there was a lot of eyeballing of it. What am I saying? Who am I even kidding? Myself. Yeah, so the fact that a lot of this was freehand as well, I had to really have a steady hand when doing this. And yeah, what was it? There was a lot of like crosses that I tried to emulate too, as well as doing thin lines to just... Why was I out of frame then? I don't know. Yeah, just like some thin lines just to sort of fill it up a bit so it looks like cage-like, I suppose. Okay, well that's the top section, which actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, considering that's mine. that's the reference. I'd say that's pretty good. I might shade it. I might shade it a little bit with a lighter tone just to give it dimension, but otherwise, I think I think this top canvas is just about done, but I still have the rest of this. Fucking kill me now. This is gonna be painful. And painful it was. This felt like excruciating, but I had to exercise patience and the factor of trust the process. But like, nah, once I started the total work on it, it really started to come to life a bit. So I just proceeded ahead with that. And as well as I needed to keep myself entertained in a sense, I continued doing layers on the smoke. And I just kept going and going and going. And I think I was reaching the point as well where I was just going back and forth, like do a little bit, take a break, do a little bit, take a break. I was at the point where I just wanted it done, and I really hated that part. Oh yeah, this part. Why I didn't record half of this, I don't know, but I kind of did the smoke at the bottom bit, and I don't know why I didn't record the bottom part of the scaff bit, but anywho, unless I don't know where that footage is, so, but before I did the extra details at the bottom, I just did the smoke, and I did like what felt like a bajillion layers of that, and finished off that bit too. Yeah, this was the point where I was almost rushing, but I was determined to get this done before the weekend, and also because I wanted to clean up my rumpus. It was a bit of a mess. So yeah, I just sketched up all of that white words. I sketched it and I painted it. That's it. Enough said. We're done. Oh, that's actually taking dust. Nice one, Liv. Jesus Christ. I don't normally clean this corner. It kind of gets a quick run over. Anywho, I was going to recruit a friend to help me hang this up, but I woke up this morning and I had no patience, so we're hanging it up today, and I'm already discovering why I needed a spare pair of hands, because trying to get this up, well, I already put down blue tack markers, because I've used blue tack to get the shaping, not the shaping, what is it? Position, that's the word, right? The right angle doesn't really help in this case, but yeah, so trying to do this. So I've already put the Velcro bits on the canvas itself. It's the actual hanging of it. So instead, okay, well, I had to do that. But before, I was just thinking I had to do this to get it up. Oh my god. Why am I doing this? Oh fuck. Okay. Thank goodness for blue tack. I may have gotten positioning wrong. I'm gonna need Dad's tape measure in a minute. I did have like a full video of me trying to hang up this one thing, but I wasn't gonna bore you with that because even I got bored watching it. So you gotta get the quick time-lapse version of me hanging up the rest of this. So I used, you know what, I think this kind of speaks for itself. It was a lot of eyeballing, and also right now I'm just sick of talking. Anyways, here's the grand reveal. So basically 7 days worth of work later, here she is. This is probably one of the best paintings I have done, and I've already given a sneak peek to a couple of my friends and they kind of do agree with me on this fact, so I'm very proud of this one. Like, I don't know how I managed to do it, I just did. But the lessons I've learned from it is don't do painting on the floor. My back has been so sore after doing this. Like, it was just, I was crippled afterwards. So I've learned my lesson. Don't ever really do big paintings on the floor again. Anyway, I suppose, happy 60th anniversary to Thunderbirds. Holy shit. 60 years. That's like seriously a bloody long time. Well, I guess I hope you have enjoyed watching this sort of whatever this was. And now I am going to go wait for my Blu-ray set that I pre-ordered.